Hi people, how are you? Your girl Patience here. Well, today guys, I decided to share with you the job mentality. Others call it the employee mentality. And whew, the reason why I really decided to share with you guys is this, like, when I learned about this, it was just mind blowing for me, and I was like, I need to share with you guys, my family. So guys, looking at life, right? The way you live your life, like right now, it's influenced by what you were exposed to when you were growing up, like to a greater extent than you can ever imagine. Like what people used to tell you, the information they fed you when you're growing up, your surroundings, even school and everything, like that really affects how you view the world to a greater extent. Like how you're gonna approach life, how you're gonna live your life, how you're gonna view the world. It's mostly because of what you are exposed to. So your mentality really shapes what you're gonna expect out of life to a greater extent. And most of us growing up, from the time you really beginning to make sense out of things, there's something called school, and people go to school so that one day they can get a job. That's it. And you really need to perform so well at school so that you can get yourself a what? A good job, like a good secure job. That's why we do that. And by the time you're growing up, you're 3 years old, you already know, I want to go to school, I have to go to school, and all that. So guys, that's how the job mentality is implanted in you. It's starting there. And when you're in grade 1, grade 2, like there's a teacher, there's a nurse. What do you want to be when you grow up? You like, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a scientist. All those things already, that's the job mentality right there. And then you grow up with it. You try to get good grades, you get to go to college when you're like most naturally intellect people get to varsity and all that, and you get a degree, other diplomas, and you go and you get a job, or you start the job hunt. So here is what you should be careful of when it comes to the job mentality, because this mentality has really crippled most of us to a greater extent than you can ever imagine. Like most of us are affected by this mentality. You see, like when somebody is done, right, with their degree, their diploma, they're now looking for a job. And then what happens when you don't get a job? What happens? What happens when you don't get a job? That's when you find a lot of people being depressed, a lot of people doing drugs, a lot of people, like, they think that's the end of life. Why? Because there is no job. And right now, looking at the population and looking at the unemployment rate, it's just so high, and most people are still chasing degrees so that they can get a job, and still the unemployment rate keeps on increasing and increasing. So what are we going to do in this coming world? What's going to happen to all of us? Okay, so you find that a lot of people end up having depression. Like they are so depressed, like it's sad, it's really sad. Like, and then you try to talk to those people, you find that for them, they can never accomplish or achieve anything in life until they get a job, right? So already your mind is blocked, you cannot see further than a job. So it's like when we are growing up, our minds getting shaped into those little boxes, the think about jobs, the think like, when I grow up, I have to get myself a self-secure job. And when I don't get that job, I can't think out of that little box that was created for me. You get it? Okay, the second thing that happens, let's say you're not like a natural intellect. You go to high school, you get bad grades, you try to study, you try everything, and you're just not a natural intellect. Then what happens? Then you find people dropouts, né? And most dropouts who dropped out because they were not. Jeez. Okay, so the other thing, what if you're not a natural intellect? Then what happens? People drop out and they are so depressed because you find people telling you, I'm a failure, like I'm a failure, I can't accomplish anything because I did not get a degree, I did not get a diploma, you know. So I have nothing against getting a degree or getting a diploma, right? But what happens to those people, you know, like people end up thinking it's the end of life because they will be like, you know what, right now I won't even be employed. Who employ me? I don't have a job. And because everyone seems to be running for to everyone seems to be chasing jobs, how many people are creating jobs? How many people are thinking out of the box and inventing things, launching companies, putting big ideas, you know, into action? But we are all chasing our jobs, we are chasing careers, and you find that most of us, because we are chasing careers, right, we might not even live our lives to the fullest. Like that unique print I have to live on the world, I might not live it because I'm just chasing a career to find a safe, secure job. And when you even find that job, you know, like if you have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you're just in a rat race. You're living from one paycheck to the next, one paycheck to the next, and you might not really get that financial freedom that you thought you would get when you get a job. And then so you find that most of us, as we are growing up, all we are thinking about is school, 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 school. There's nothing wrong with getting educated. It's very good to get educated, it's very good to get knowledge. But then because we are that just like that focused, we fail to see the other things we can initiate, the other things we can do as young as you are or as old as you are, and then to get more income or to launch ideas. Or you know how they say now they see students, you know, get the A students to work for them. How does that happen? Because the C students go out there, they are the ones that create the jobs, and because the A student is just looking for a job and employment, then the C student will employ this person, and that is what is happening. So be that person who is open-minded, even if you're not an intellect, a natural intellect. So what are you good at? What are you good at? Some people really live out of singing, like they're just other artists out there who just live out of that. They are not employed, like they don't have a job, you know, like people are just doing different things there. You know what they say, the old proverb, like if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, the fish will spend its whole life thinking that fish is a failure, you know. So you have your own uniqueness, you have something you're so good at. What are you good at? What are you good at? What are you good at? You know, there's nothing wrong when you monetize your passion. Yeah, there's nothing wrong when you monetize your skill. There's nothing wrong when you monetize something you're good at, because even the people who get employed, they're just monetizing the knowledge they got or the skill they got, you know. So there's nothing wrong with monetizing that. So people, please get out of the job mentality, think out of the box. I associate with a whole lot of colleagues my level, and we are students, and you find that people at times, they're just all debating about jobs, which one pays the highest and everything. Well, okay, yes, but then you find you talk to these young people and they don't even have anything they want to invent, they don't even have anything they want to launch. They don't, you know, like scientists just come out of a city looking for jobs. You know, there's nothing like, can I sit down and make this thing up? Like there's nothing like that. People are just chasing jobs, and we end up having, you know, a higher unemployment rate. We get depression, you know, people who are depressed, even others get even to the extent of committing suicide just because they think they are a failure, you know. So as you're growing up, just be careful of the job mentality, be careful of the job mentality. I will continue on this because it's quite a long topic to discuss about. So thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment, subscribe, like. Bye.